Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? How you doing? You know who it is, the chosen one, Gabriel Skywalker, joined by the one, the only, Jason, the Vanilla Gorilla Witt. How you doing, my man?
My man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good, enjoying training, enjoying all that stuff. What about yourself? How are you?
Man, busy as ever, sticking, jabbing, moving. Every single day is a grind, as you may know, Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, welcome to the show again, fans. Leave comments in the comment section, and then we'll get to your questions at the end. Okay. So coming up, UFC Fight Night Saturday, March 13th. How you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. Beat up a little bit, but that's just kind of part of the training. It's just kind of what happens. But no, I feel great. I feel really confident for the fight. Putting a lot of hard work with a lot of the guys at Glory MMA and Fitness.
Well, speaking of Glory MMA and Fitness, you guys are kicking down the door in the UFC. How many UFC fighters do you guys have now?
We got 13, I believe. 13 going on 14, somewhere around there.
Wow. Yeah. You guys are ready to take over American Top Team who? That's awesome, man.
I think
go ahead.
4 years ago, we only had 4 people in the UFC, and now we have 13 coming up. Yeah, something like that. I think we have for the next – 2 weeks ago, for 6 weeks, we have at least one person in the UFC each fight card, which is crazy.
That's awesome. I mean, the mood in the gym's got to be like, you guys have to feel like you're on top of the world right now.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the vibe in the gym is pretty cool, but at the same time, we're all still in there grinding. The people who got fights, the people who still had fights, they're still in the gym working, and it's definitely nice to have wins, nice to see wins, but we're kind of that blue collar gym where we're just trucking away, still grinding every single day, no matter what.
Oh, I believe it. So real quick, let's just talk about your UFC debut. How the hell? I mean, I would have done it too if I would have got a call from Dana White said, "Come fight in 48 hours." 48 hours notice. How hectic was that for you, man? I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I always knew there'd be a short notice fight. I didn't know it'd be 48 hours. I didn't know it'd be that quick. I'm at work. I own a gym in Oakland Park, Kansas, and I'm training one of my clients. It's about 12:45. I get a text message saying, "Hey, drop everything you're doing and get on a plane as soon as possible." So I canceled all my. I had 6 clients that day. Canceled all my. Drove home as soon as I live about 10 minutes away from the gym. Told my wife, "Hey, pack a bag. I don't even care. Just take what's in the dryer, throw it in the suitcase. I don't care what you got. I got to get out as fast as possible." What I didn't know is I still had to get blood work done. So I had to drive. I live about an hour away from the airport. So I had to drive 45 minutes to get blood work and then drive to the airport. So 12:45, I had to be on a plane by 3 o'clock. I got to the airport at 2:10. So I was hauling ass. I was hectic. I was cussing people out on the highway. I was ludicrous. I was saying, "Move, bitch, get out the way." It's one of those where it's stupidly stressful, but at the same time, you're so excited for that call you've been waiting for so long. But it was a pretty intense day, that's for sure.
Man, I can't even imagine the stress you were going through. And yeah, I mean, 48 hours, you got an opponent, get on a plane now, stop what you're doing. How did were your clients cool with it?
Yeah, my clients are all super cool. They all kind of knew. They're like, "Hey, don't worry about it. We completely understand." The thing about that is I didn't have an opponent. I didn't have the fight. They said, "Here's an opportunity. Here's a chance. You're a backup fighter. Just make it out here. If you can pass a COVID test, you're good." So I didn't even have the fight at 12:45 or when I was getting on the plane. I didn't have the fight. I got there, took the COVID test, that went through, and then they're like, "Hey, you're good to go." Now I woke up the next morning, they're like, "You got to fight." So I woke up that what was that, Friday morning, making weight. They're like, "Okay, the fight's on." So I didn't even know about it.
So it was like 24 hours then that you knew for sure that you were going to fight.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow. You're a soldier, man. That's awesome though. That's awesome. What was it like though, to take your very first walk to the UFC octagon? How do you keep your nerves at bay? Can you just tell us what was going through you at that time, man?
I don't really remember too much. I mean, there was no crowds. It was a little bit different than all the other fights because every other fight I had a lot of people at the fights. But I remember walking out and looking up looking up at the big screen and just seeing myself walk out and like hearing the music and just kind of like, I know you get the fans couldn't see it because they didn't televise that part, but yeah, I remember like just being like, okay, we're here, like I made it. This is the part I've been waiting for. Obviously didn't go my way, but that is what it is. But walking out to it, just I remember smiling at the camera, like this is what I'm here for. Like I don't, you know what I mean, like I made it. All the times that I wanted to quit, all the times that I didn't want to go to practice, or all the times people told me I couldn't do it, and all the times that even when I won and all that stuff, just kind of validated the fact that you made this walk, you finally made it. No matter what, nobody can take that away from you.
That's awesome, man. That's yeah. I mean, I'd probably be throwing up backstage like 3 times, and you guys though, everybody I've had on the show, like you guys are just very good at keeping your nerves at bay. So that's why I always ask that question, because that's tough to do.
Yeah, I mean, we're every day at Glory, especially we put in so much work, so we don't have that throwing up 16 times before. I probably peed like 30 times before that though. So that. But yeah, man, we like Kraus tells us to put in so much work, so we don't have those nerves. And I've had bad fights where I walked out so nervous that like I didn't feel confident in fighting, and it was a different feeling, different atmosphere. But when you're in the gym and you put in the schedule that Kraus demands, or the gym in itself demands, the training partners demand, you got to come out feeling confident. You got to know that you've put in the work, because if you're not, then you're not in the right gym.
Good point. Good point. Who's your favorite training partner at the gym?
We got a plethora of everybody.
I bet.
Favorite training partner? I trained a lot with Julian Marquez for this fight. He's a good training partner. And he just fought a couple weeks ago and had a great win over Mika. And I train with him a lot because I'm like Mika. Like my size and my style is kind of like Mika, so it was a really good look for him. And he's a bigger guy, bigger than I am. Obviously, I don't know if you saw that fight with him and Mika,
Yep.
Mike, whatever his name, but he looked freaking massive. So I train with him because he's bigger, stronger, and me being a 70-pounder, I'm gonna face guys who are bigger than I am. So right now, Julian's my favorite training partner. Grant Dawson gives me the most problems at the entire gym. That son of a bitch, I tell you what. That kid is good. And people don't realize he goes on a 4-5 win streak now. I grappled him today. We did a little up, down, and out, which is probably one of the hardest things you can do. But that kid's grappling is on another level, and people don't understand it yet. But I love training with him. He pushes you to go to a different level than you ever thought you could.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, he's on a streak, man. You opened your own gym, you said, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that going okay right now with the whole COVID stuff? You still doing good with the gym?
Yeah. So in 2020, I had 3 goals. One was fighting the UFC, one was to buy a new house, I'm saying that, and one was to buy a gym. I did all 3 of those within 2 weeks of each other. Like we closed on the house and closed on the gym within the same week of each other, and I fought in the UFC like a week later. So during COVID, I was a personal trainer at the time, or still am. And my gym got shut down, so I didn't have a job. I wasn't considered essential, which is understandable. That happens. And I realized that I could get fired from a job, and I didn't like being fired. I didn't like people having control of what I do. So I bought the gym, and fortunately enough, I bought it a week before we were getting ready to open back up. So I had time to renovate the entire place. I put signs up. I took down walls, took down offices, did all this other stuff. Really made it my own. Really helped out a lot. And so when we opened up in May, we opened. So when the restrictions got lifted, we opened up, and it was my own gym. So before all the trainers, it was 2 months. So before all the trainers, they came to a gym, it was another gym. And when they came back, it was a completely different gym, owned by a completely different person. Man, it's going really well. It's fun to own my own business. It's fun it's something, it's a personal training studio. So it's not like fighting. It's not MMA. I love helping people do what's kind of benefited me so much in my career. So I really enjoy helping people lose weight and get stronger. And that's something I really love doing. And so I just put that into a business, and it's going really well. I'm really enjoying it, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of like giving back. Here in California, I'm still waiting for my gym to open, so I'm doing all my stuff at home. So it's really tough for us out here, man. Really tough. and I put on probably 20 pounds of just COVID weight, just sitting around not doing shit. So sucks.
Buying equipment is just ridiculous. Like I tried to buy and plates and stuff like that and barbells for the gym, and you just couldn't do it. And Rogue was sold out of everything, so it was pretty difficult just getting all that stuff that I needed for the gym in itself. But so I couldn't imagine not having a gym opened up, and it sounds terrible.
It's a nightmare. Oh wait, I want to ask you, how did you get the nickname, the Vanilla Gorilla? Because I have a thing on my show where I call my baby's mama, I call her Silverback Gorilla. How did you get your nickname?
I'm surprised
Vanilla Gorilla.
But yeah, my last amateur fight, I want to say probably 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. It was 155. Made a terrible cut. Didn't know anything about nutrition. Didn't know how to like really cut. I was not eating a lot, just doing whatever I could to make the weight. Last amateur fight. So after that happened, my body reacted really badly, really poorly, and I blew up to like 198 pounds, 200 pounds, somewhere crazy. And I was a pretty beefy. I still had a six-pack abs, but I was pretty fluffy. Let's put it that way. And I'm a pretty athletic person. I was very blood athleticism, and I'm pretty strong guy. Yeah. And so my Jason High, who's still my coach to this day, is he's like, "Hey man, you look a vanilla gorilla," and the whole class at the gym just starts laughing, and like you don't get to say, "Hey, this is what I want it to be." The one they give you. And I figured any nickname that I could that makes me laugh in the middle of a cage, like when they announce your name, I started laughing my first time. I was like, that has to be a good nickname to stick with. So that's kind of how it came about.
Man, it fits you. It fits you. It's like being locked in a gorilla cage when someone steps in that ring with you, man. The way you manhandle people. So that's awesome, bro. Are you still thinking about fighting at 155, or is that like?
No, that's definitely an option. That's you know what, we were thinking about going to 55. I talked to my coach Kraus. We need to go to the institute and get some tests run to see if I can make 55. I imagine I can. I don't want to. It does not sound fun to me. It's a whole lifestyle change. Like it's not like I made 70 on 48 hours notice, but making 55 is like an 8-week diet camp, like all the bells and whistles. But yeah, it's something. If it's what's better for my career, it's what I need to do. Then that's what I'll do to progress myself. I don't want to do it. It's if it's something I need to do, then that's what.
Right. No, I get it. I totally get it. That'd be a huge wake up because you're already like a big guy. Like you're just. Yeah, I think you're big for the weight division you're at now, as far as like stocky, muscular. So yeah, 155. That'd be tough, man.
Yeah, but frame wise and height wise, I'm not a big guy. Like if you saw me, okay, you could probably be a 55er. I am muscular. Like I'm not gonna get thrown around at 70. Obviously, I throw people around like Cole Williams. I carry them across the cage. So, like I'm strong and athletic, but like at some point there's gonna have to be a guy who has a 80-inch reach who's 6'3" and I can't reach him. So there might be a problem there, but so far it's not been a problem. We've liked the matchups that we got at 70, so we've just stuck with that.
Nice. Yeah, I think you're fine in 170. I think you're gonna turn some heads, as if you already didn't after Halloween. You made that into a Halloween special with all that blood, man. That was awesome. I was sitting there yelling, and my wife sometimes doesn't get it, but I have certain fighters, like I'm a fan of yours. I've been watching you forever. Oh, and then when the blood started coming, she had to leave. And yeah, that was just awesome. Cole Williams. So let's talk about this real quick. Did you get a fight bonus for that?
I didn't know. No, there was quite a bit of TKOs that night, so I kind of missed the opportunity on that. But I thought with Halloween and making it look like a Halloween massacre, I figured it might help out a little bit. But you don't get a lot of bonuses for submissions like that. But TKO is going to play a bigger factor in the game.
Oh man, I thought you deserved it. Just yeah, because I'm a YouTube guy, so I heard a lot of the haters, a lot of the doubters about you. I picked you to win. And to see you just cut them open like that, and just the blood everywhere, I thought for sure you were going to get the bonus, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all good. I still got paid. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Your footwork too looked amazing. Like you're in there, like just that movement. Are you expecting to bring that here in the next fight too? I mean, that was super good movement in there with your feet, your footwork, like especially against a striker.
Yeah, I've really kind of I don't want to say like I can't say I've hit a different level in my game, and I know that sounds different, but like I've really like leveled up during this fight, and I see that mentally and physically in my game. And footwork is definitely something that plays a factor, and I really like my coach Cross has really good footwork. He's hard to hit, and so that's something I try to emulate and try to add into my game. I don't like getting hit, but I do a good job of it. So yeah, adding good footwork into this, especially against Simmelsberger. He's a really good counter striker. He likes to counter strike, but he's also a basic 1-2 Muay Thai type guy. Doesn't set up his kicks well. So just adding footwork into that. A lot of Cole Williams, I was trying to get him to walk into things, try to get him to throw that big right hand to shoot for the takedown, which obviously worked out in my favor. And Simmelsberger, I kind of plan on having the same game plan. So using my footwork to kind of draw them in and then have them overextend and then shoot on that is kind of where I'm going for that.
Nice, dude. So let me ask you, so when you picked them up, and you picked up Cole Williams and you carried him, you didn't just slam him, you picked him up, you carried him all the way across the cage, you body slammed him, and you ended up in your corner with your coaches. Was that on purpose?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So like I knew where my corner was, and it wasn't a thought. It wasn't like, oh, I need to go do this. It was that's just what I did. And I remember like shooting in, like wrapping my hands around and picking him up and Cross like bringing him to me, and like I didn't even think about bringing him to him. I just started. I knew that's where I needed to be and put him right back in that blood. It's demoralizing. I mean, you got to think about it. He's got picked up by another grown man, carried across the corner, put back in the same blood. Like you're like, shit, we're back here. I just got out of this, saved by the bell. Now I'm back in this bloody mess again.
Yeah, that is one of the most dominating slams I've seen. Not to mention that you carried him all the way across the octagon like he was a child. You know, it was dude. That was badass. So with all that stuff, that's why I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't get the fight of the night. What was it like fighting with so much of his blood covered all over you, man?
Didn't bother me a bit. I loved it. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm all about it. Everybody's like, oh, just make the choke harder to slip into. I was like, no, it actually slid right in. Like it wasn't hard at all. I think he wanted out. I think he was looking for a way out, and I gave it to him. I also think I could have TKO'd him if I stayed on top of him and just ground and pounded him out. But I'm just looking to get that W. So submission, TKO, I don't care which way it goes.
Yeah, he'll take it, right? So I'm gonna put up the picture right here of the arm triangle on the screen here, guys. Look at this.
A good one.
It was over. You got your legs over, cinched in perfectly. He tapped, and then if you guys notice, like all the blood everywhere. I mean, that was just, if anyone would have told me you were going to win by submission, I would have been like, man, you're crazy. But yeah, you got it by submission, man. Good job.
Yeah, a lot of my wins are by rear naked choke, and it's not that not the greatest BJJ player in the entire world. It's that I do a really good job of blending wrestling and striking together. I'm really good at like putting those both together. And a lot of times, a lot of strikers, I'll hit them and they'll take a shit shot and I'll end up on their back. And that's how I win by rear naked choke most times. It's not like I just set it up and went from half guard to 3/4 mount to back control to rear naked. It was like, I hit you, you fell over, and I just jumped on your back.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing arm triangle. And I thought he was going to go out, but he ended up tapping before he went out. Can you put into words like how was it? How should I put this? What was the feeling going through your body of getting your first UFC victory, getting your arm raised in that octagon, man? How did that feel?
It's kind of one of those, this is gonna be ironic, like it's undescribable, but I'm gonna describe it. It's one of those like it's a validation that you finally did what you said you were gonna do. The feeling is really unexplainable unless you've actually done it, unless you understand like how that feeling feels. Man, it's just one of those like you cherish the rest of your life. That's one of those memories that money can't buy, people can't take away from you, and you can't ever get it again. That's your first UFC win. That's the only, you know what I mean? Like I can't go back and get my first UFC win again. So to have that moment, like chiseled into stone in my timeline is just it's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome, yeah. Well, I guess winning a title. What do you think? You think winning the belt would top it? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, being number one, getting that belt, that's the goal from now on. But yeah, that first UFC win is just it's a start. And everybody's like, oh, well, how do you feel after that first win? I'm like, I feel like I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? Like I've been fighting for quite a long time. Like I'm a veteran in this game for sure, but I feel like I just got started.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know. I mean, you look young for your age. Like people first look at you, they thought you were already in your mid 20s. But no, I'm like, no, Jason's been in the other circuits like fighting for a very long. I mean, you had long hair at the time. Uh, you ever think about getting like the mullet going, man?
No, I'll leave that at Semmelsberger. He can have it. I miss the long hair. I really do. I kind of miss it every day. It was a pain in the ass, but I still love the long hair.
Yeah, man, you pulled it off, dude. It looked pretty dope. What does your wife think about it when does she prefer the long, the short?
She actually really liked it. She actually loved long hair. I remember we were in a grocery store one day. This is probably one of the greatest moments of my life, having long hair. I was in a tank top and obviously somewhat muscular or whatever. Had long hair, and some kid walks by. He's like, "Look, mommy, it's Thor," and I'm like, "It's a great life. It's a good day." You know what I mean, she liked it. She likes the short hair. She thinks it looks better with short hair. But I remember I didn't tell her I was getting it cut. I just went and got it cut and then showed up with a hoodie on. And she's like, "Why are you wearing a hoodie?" She pulled my hood off. She's like, "No." She's like, "You serious?" It was time.
Oh my God, that Thor story, that's awesome. I'm never gonna forget that. A little kid comes up, "Mommy, it's Thor." That's awesome, man. Being a comic book geek myself. So Saturday, March 13th, you face Matthew Slazenberger. I hope I pronounced that right. Any predictions besides Massacre? What do you got?
I'm going with TKO round 2 by myself, for me, not him. Yeah, I really think the game plan is very similar to what we just had with Cole. It's put him against the cage, grind him down, and kind of he's a big power puncher. Good for him. Grind him down, take away a little of that power, and then just put him back into the cage in round 2, and then just TKO him from that point. Just kind of keep grinding him out until he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Right. Did you pick up on the 2 jab, 3 jab, and then that overhand right that he always does? Kind of like, have you picked up on that watching fight tape or anything like that?
The split one and then the 5 overhand. Yeah. I've seen quite a bit of it. We worked a little bit with my coaches about that. That's fine, man. Like he can throw whatever he wants to. It's all gonna equate to what I'm gonna do in my head, and not what he's doing. I don't give a shit.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay, because I do fight tape, I do DraftKings, FanDuel, and I do UFC content. I'm one of the few people that do it that cover like DraftKings and FanDuel and all that stuff. So I do weekly videos. So yeah, I have to watch fight tape for everybody. But yeah, that was one of the things I noticed with Matthew. It was the 2 or 3 up the middle, and then that's just a setup for his overhand right. So yeah, that's why I was wondering if you saw that. But I did see him in an interview recently. He talked very highly of you, man. He respects you. I thought that was really cool. He didn't say what his game plan would be. He said he'd write it in a diary and then he would show it after, but he said it's not going the distance. What do you think about that?
I can agree with him. Like I said, TKO round 2. We can be nice, we can be cordial, but when we get in there, I have an overhand right myself. So we'll see what happens. See who lands first.
Yeah, you sure do. Speaking of which, do you ever talk trash to fighters while you're in the octagon?
I have, yeah, I have. I fought Mark Leminger one time, and he had grabbed my glove underneath me so the ref couldn't see it, and he had it for like a good minute. And so I got loose one time, or I got loose and grabbed his glove. He's like, "Oh, ref, he's grabbing my glove." I was like, "Bitch, you were just grabbing my glove. Don't be like. I mean, if don't be a hypocrite. Like if you're gonna be a man, grab my glove. Be a man and take it back the other way. You know what I mean?" So it's the way it is. I don't talk much trash. I don't talk trash on internet or Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. It's just not my style. I don't really give a shit. It's a waste of time. We're gonna fight anyway, so there's no point in talking trash.
Right. Do you think a lot of it is just to sell the fight, or do you think I know some of it is real bad blood, real hatred between fighters, but do you think a lot of it is just to sell the fight?
Yeah, I mean, you got guys like Conor McGregor who is actually phenomenal at talking trash.
Yeah.
I think a little bit might be just kind of getting the opponent's head too. I mean that's part of the game plan, but some might be insecurities on other fighters. Like you talk trash because you're worried about the fight, or you're worried about this, and if that's your game plan, that's fine with me. But yeah, I think there's a couple levels of why people talk trash.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like what hurt him this time around. That he's so humble now. He's a family man. He's not talking trash anymore. I thought that would help him. I actually think that's kind of hurting him now because yeah, I think he got in a lot of people's heads.
He seems too nice for his own good now. I don't know.
Yeah,
I to talk to I think when I was watching the press conference with Khabib, I think he went a little far. I think he might have been a little drunk for that one too. But he went I think a little far, and then got his ass whooped, and that's part of the game. But own up to that too, and he did. But I don't think you should go straight to being Mr. Nice Guy either.
No. So did you get to meet Anderson Silva?
I did.
Nice.
It was pretty funny. We were at the Institute, and I walked down the stairs, and he starts walking up the stairs, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I gave him a fist bump, and he just kept walking. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's how it is." He's like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." He's like, "We cool?" I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then we get to the weigh-ins, and I'm sitting like 4 rows back. I think he's front row. He's Anderson Silva. Why wouldn't he be front row? And he waves at me. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Just ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." So yeah, I didn't really get to talk to him, ask him how it was or anything, but it was cool just to kind of fist bump, say hi, how you doing? He recognized who I was. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, the only UFC fighter I've ever met, it was Mike Swick. I do loss prevention at Target. I'm undercover, so I'm wearing my normal clothes and I arrest shoplifters. So I pretty much fight every day. But I look down and there's Mikey Swick there in the vitamin aisle. I'm like, so I get down, take a picture with him. He's a real cool guy. But yeah, I couldn't imagine meeting like Anderson Silva. That must have been awesome. I don't, one of the greatest of all time.
Super nice guy. Super respectful.
Yeah, he seems like it. So UFC Fight Night, Saturday, March 13th. Do you ever wager? Do you ever bet on yourself or other fights?
I'd like to start doing that. I haven't yet. I know a couple of my fights, like Julian bets a lot, Kraus bets a lot. It's something I'd like to kind of get into. I just haven't taken the time to go about it.
Well, I would recommend doing DraftKings or FanDuel. I mean, getting into that, that's really it's fun. It's fun. That's it. That's all I have. I don't want to take up all your time, but let's go to the chat real quick. There's a couple of questions for you, Jason, from your fans, and then we'll get you out of here because I know you're a busy man. So Joe wants to know, you're a warrior, Witt. Do you plan on taking Semmel's Burger on a ride down Takedown City, man?
First off, love the question. That's a great question, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, man, I'd love to have another carry across the cage. I think it'd be kind of cool. Somebody asked me, "Is that your trademark move?" And I was like, I guess it kind of is now. Like that's kind of what I'm known for, just picking somebody up and carrying them across the cage. So any opportunity that I get to carry somebody across the cage, I'll definitely will.
Yeah, you should patent that, like call that like the ride from hell or something like that, like those WWE guys,
I'll look into that, kind of promote that a little bit, trademark.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Make some shirts. So one of my dudes, MMA locker room, he says, "Yo, Jason, you got it in this week's. Who do you have in this week's main event?"
Between I can't think of his name. How do you say it? Russian, bro. How do you say his name?
Let me pull him up here.
I know both the fighters, but I can't say their names.
No, it's all good, brother. I got you.
Jared Rosenstruck is one.
Yeah, Jared Rosenstruck versus Gagne.
Oh man, that's a tough one because Gagne's been on like this tear, and he's a big, powerful dude. That's the problem with heavyweight. Like you can't I'm probably never gonna bet on a heavyweight fight if I ever do, just because you don't know how that fight's gonna go. Yeah, but I think I'll take Gagne just because I think he's a bigger athletic guy. And I think his reach and his height will definitely play a factor in the exchanges.
All right, there you go, Millie Mills. So Mills also, he's a friend of mine. He does the sports wagering on for UFC. I know he's a fan of yours too. So thanks, Mills, for the question, man. Joe Todaro, how many times do you want to fight this year, especially with how competitive 170 is?
Man, as many times as I can. At 170, if I can fight probably every month at 170, just because I can make the weight pretty easy. If we go to 55, that'll be a story. But I mean, if I could fight 5 times this year, 5 times this year, I'd be happy with that. I'm trying to make a name, make some money in this fight game. So that's what I'm trying to do. Fight as many times as possible.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, just a little keynote. Everybody that's ever come on my show, every fighter is undefeated. So I think you're going to keep the streak going, brother.
I love it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So the floor is yours. If you'd like to thank any sponsors, anybody, shout out people, the floor is yours, Jason.
Yeah, man. First off, thanks for having me on the show. Like, I really appreciate it. I used to get really nervous for these, but I've done a little bit more of them, and I really enjoy and kind of embrace them now. Shout out to everybody at Glory MMA and Fitness. You know, we've put in a lot of years' work, and it's a lot of fun doing that. Shout out to Iridium Sports Agency, Joe Wooster, Jason House, Jacob Praga, all those guys. Damage Control mouth guards. I'm missing a couple teeth, so thanks for keeping my teeth looking good. Lay Right Pomade. They hooked me up with a couple shirts and some pomade. So I'm pretty about that, keeping my hair looking good, and that's important too. So appreciate all the support, man. I love being able to do interviews. Love being able to fight and just enjoying this path I'm on.
That's awesome, man. Who are you telling? I'm always nervous for these interviews. I mean, you guys are gods to me, so tell me about it. But yeah, Jason, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're gonna win. I'm gonna pick you to win when I do my video. And anytime, we'd love to have you back, man. Especially after the fight, we'd love to, hear about your bonus that you got and how you won in devastating fashion.
50 G's.
And, 50 G's, right?
G's.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, thank you so much, Jason. Thank you everybody in the chat for tuning in. Like I have a little thing I say, Jason, let's get this bread. Don't take shit from nobody. Absolutely nobody. Jason, the Vanilla Gorilla, and I are out. You guys take care.